Oh crap. Dude, okay. Am I streaming now? Sorry. I thought I was live. Okay. Let me see. Is it streaming now? Sorry, dude. Hey, what's up? Sorry, I started working and I forgot completely. Uh yeah, hold on. It's just this thing is not refreshing fast and like I can't tell. Oh man. I was not live, I guess. Is it going? Okay, streaming now. Okay, sorry. So let me go back to what I was doing. So for the last 20 minutes, I thought I was streaming and I was working on stuff. But let's go back. So I'll do it again, but with actual items. So I was in the middle of doing. Okay. So sorry, Sumito. I thought when you said I'm late, I was on and I was here, but okay. Sorry, guys. Okay, so I'm gonna show you. That's why no one was talking. Okay, let me show you guys where I was. Okay, so let's go back to. We're gonna go over cosmetics, and so there's our guy, and we have. Oh no, sorry. So the VR. So we're gonna go um, from scratch everything like. So we have the fusion rig, and I'm not using pun like most Gorilla Tag fan games, and so that is hard for people because they like to drag and drop network things. But the problem is that those games usually take up a lot of bandwidth, and so you're wasting a lot of money if your game becomes popular because you're doing a lot of network cosmetics. And so I'm going to show you the cheap way of doing cosmetics, at least from network bandwidth. All I do is I save an ID or maybe even an index of the cosmetic, and then we can grab it. Um, and I'll show you that in a sec. But first, we're gonna set it up on PlayFab. So we're gonna work with the eyes. So we have this default eyes. These are gonna be the default. And if we want them all glowing, we can do the glowing. Um, if you guys want. So but these are all the eyes, and so I'm gonna set up another batch because I went through thinking that I was streaming, but I'm not. So I'm gonna go through. We're gonna be able to switch the colors of the eyes, the colors, the main color, this green color, and the yellow color. So you'll be able to swap in and out. I'm gonna make it so that if you're free to play, you can switch both eyes together. But if you're a subscriber, one of the perks will be that you'll be able to switch the right and the left. So if you want to look cool and whatever, we can do that. So default is with these eyes, and you could probably, if you want it to be like eye patch or something and have only one eye, you could. Um, and eventually, if we wanted to have a third eye, we can do the third eye. Well, if they want to do the alien, have a third eye. Um, anyways, um, yeah, fireball. So I have one that if you look at these are I kind of fake it. I am. Let's do these. Let's go grab these since you said that with the fires. Let's go in the editor. Make the slice. Oh no, don't do that. Okay, so we're gonna do it ourselves. Eyes, eyes. So these are like X, like dead, and then these are the fire. They're just quick fire things. We can do better one. Pirate wizard. Yeah, we could do whatever. Um, and I'll show you guys. We're gonna go crazy once we have an artist. I'm going through Fiverr and I'm trying to get the guy to fix the rig a little bit because what we need, and that's why I'm doing the eyes only right now because I gotta name it. So we have right, and these once we have right side, because X, for example, you don't need two sprites. I just need one, and they can be both sides. And the same with the fire. Most of these eyes are not diagonal. The ones that are like tweaked might have a right and a left side. But so for now, I'm just doing right and left because it was easier to just do it that way. Right, left, I, or what, left, I, X. I don't remember how my naming convention, but fire, I, right, and fire, I, left. Okay, so we have these. This is how we, and so now we can have these. So, but the thing, see how they kind of go down and up or whatever. I can fix that per eye. I know when you meant I. Yeah, so we'll do row patterns, and my goal, maybe for the I gotta see, because I want I completely be able to swap out the rows to different things, but you'll be able to have a main color with every row and whatever. Um, I do want, so for example, how we have our chat, this guy right here, or maybe how do I don't even know where it is. Check. I want to eventually do this guy, so we could do change the row, so we can change this. See, like I could swap in for something else, and we can also swap this out, the scarf, so we can the hoodie thing, and then we can also swap this out for a belt, and we can add rings if we want to. We could swap the entire row if we want for something else. So all these are there. Uh, and so we'll just swap out whatever. And then also for this colors, we can go whatever, right? So it'll still be all everything one thing. And so you could go crazy. Okay. So you can do whatever. And you can also go in here and do that. And so I'm eventually gonna add like a fire wheel thing so that you can go crazy with this. But anyways, and then yeah, we'll be able to do patterns because it's all the textures are here, so we can add whatever. Like yeah, that's another time because we can add in here. I can make it so we can add stuff and we can play around with that. But right now I'm focusing on the eye, so we can go through the cosmetic system, and then I am going to go into another cosmetic thing where we do add the patterns, so I can switch that. Or do you prefer that I do the patterns now? Like, because I can technically do the patterns, but I don't. Um, I can switch it. I don't mind. So in here we have. Let me see. So local player loadout. So I'm going to show you where we are saving stuff. So this is the loadout for the player. So this is how we save what the player has. So in here we can do row pattern. And we'll have to try to match it to every row or whatever we have. Or like default row pattern. So because there might be some cosmetics that are not default, and so we'll have to figure that out. We do that. And so we're going to save stuff in this, it's called an array of strings, and each string is going to represent something like the left eye, the right eye, the hood, the scarf, the belt, and then the colors. So let's go to PlayFab. So I was in the middle. So this is what the loadout looks like. So this is what the player has stored before they left. So this is how I save data so that when you swap out colors, it stores on PlayFab. And so we're going to go now to the economy catalog. And we have, let's create the eyes. What was the name of the eyes that we did? Fire eye and fire and X. Okay, so fire. Let's see if I can get this right. I don't know if I got the other. So I circle star. Okay, so we're gonna do fire for eyes, fire, fire, eyes, left and right eye, cosmetic. And then the class is cosmetics, not spelled. Stackable. This is so that in case we accidentally give more than one, so that there's no problems. The currency is the free to play currency for now. Super easy to get. You just kill monsters and you can get it. Let's see. So we have the eyes. And then fire. And then we do you want Goofy, are you still on? Or let me see who do patterns. Sumito, do you want me to add the patterns instead of the eyes? I can work on the patterns too if you want me to do that live. Let me see eyes. Eyes X. X eyes. Left and right. Stackable. 500. Okay, save. Okay, so we have the eyes on playfab. So now they are do spin wheel. Like spin wheel for like randomness, or like spin wheel like the color wheel so you can pick it. I was gonna try to get it out. I just have to get a bunch of stuff for it. I can check it out. I just gotta open up another project. We can do okay. So we have for pattern or eyes. Spin wheel. Okay. So spin wheel for the colors. Like so you could pick this spin wheel. Like so that you can do this. Okay. Because we can also do patterns for the texture. So I can dive into the texture because right now we don't have anything. So I can go in here, for example, and this thing is unlit player shader. So I can go in here and add a pattern. Oh, like I spin a wheel to do one for pattern. Oh, so for like the player, but I'm gonna make it so that you can buy these, so you can select them as you. So it's kind of like shopping. Are you saying to do a wheel to select stuff? So like you can spin a wheel, and then you get one from the wheel. Because in here we can add texture. We can do texture. Pattern. Pattern. We can add the multiply by the spin a wheel, and that's what you do first. So you want me to create a spinning where like in VR, you grab it and you spin it? Okay. The row. So we can add a pattern. If add Or trying to think, you want to add it to that, then put it on. I'm trying to think if that's even, no, I don't know if that's, or reverse. Oh, like a heads or tails. But where would I do that? Online? Spin to make a decision. So this washed out the thing. Hold on. Let me see if I can add a multiply. Yeah. Yeah, so I would have to work on something. Okay. Yeah, so let me spin a wheel. Okay, to do, or see what to work on first. And wheel to decide. This. Choices. So do eye cosmetic, do pattern cosmetic. Is there anything else there? Do pattern cosmetics or do pattern shader or story. Okay. Oh, yeah, apply wheel changes. Okay, so I'm gonna click to spin. Let's see, want something else. Okay. Here's a do pattern shader. So I'm gonna do the shader. Cool. I'm gonna do the shader. So I'm gonna figure this out. So we're gonna clamp it. So that way it's not too crazy. Just in max. Go higher than what default for max is 1. Same. We can play around with that. We can grab whatever. It's so annoying. Okay. Other patterns, the shader, saved it. Okay, let's go in here. So this guy doesn't have anything, that's why. So we need to add pattern, like let's say we see that. Oh, this is the other thing that I want to do. I think I need a vector 2, UV tiling. I think it, let me see, is that 2? Right? Yeah. Okay, cool. Does it go? Oh, this one's. Okay, so we're gonna do the shader for the pattern. And this is what you mean by pattern, right? Like add a pattern, whatever, like add this to it, whatever. And then we min max, show you. Okay, so we have this. Let's say the main color is pink. Then we wanna black and white, create. And then we tile it. This is 1 by 1. Okay, so I can't tell anything because it's not, it's hard to tell right now. Like a flame pattern on the cloak. Yeah, so I'm trying to think of how to add it. So let me see. Let's look online. Sure, flame pattern. This. Uh, where's player? Where's the player? Player, big. Cosmetic test. Cosmetic. Okay, so we have a flame pattern. Okay, so you have a flame pattern, and I'm gonna figure it out. Usually, like this is like just winging it as I go. Because I haven't done shaders in a bit. Okay, download. I know this is not like flame, more like C almost, but this flame. Okay, so let's go into the shader so I can mess around with it. Where is the? Okay, we're gonna go with the shader to test it out. This, and we're gonna. This is the end result here. So let me kind of see what's going on. And it doesn't make much sense at times, but we're gonna do the flame. I'm gonna see what's happening. So min 0, max is 1. What's going on? Oh, because we have this. Okay, so we have to do that. What happened? Is it not letting me use that texture? Oh, because the UVs are 0. So it should be by default 1 to 1, I believe. Or let me see. It's not working. Oh, the sample. Want to be able to adjust the tiling. Hey, what's up, Fernando? Thanks for coming. How's your game doing? Okay, so let me see. So yeah, well, I spun a wheel, and so I'm doing patterns for the cloak, and we're trying to figure out. I'm not a big shader guy, but I know what I'm doing. I just gotta remember the math to add or subtract, and this is creating the pattern. Now I need to UV tile it. I'm trying to find the freaking UV. Let me again. In shader. What? Might be the sample. Image texture sampler. Multiply those you. Oh, so I need to do. Okay, hold on. Texture coordinates. textures. Awesome. Yeah, you have to. Did you get your LLC and stuff figured out for your app? Um, Fernando, if you, yeah, that's like a main step is I think everyone I've talked to that's come on the course for in-game devs is like they don't have a LLC, and I think uh, you just have to take the jump and create an LLC. Okay, so texture UV node. Let me see if there's a UV node. There it is. I need this. I need to multiply. Multiply. That's where I get the two UV tiling, I think. Yep. That. And now we got the magic. Okay. Okay, I think this works. Let's go back. So there's the pattern. But the tiling, see, the tiling will help us kind of like determine how much offset is. See, so like that's why I wanted this. Anyway, so you could do like 5 by 5 and it'll tile it. Okay, awesome, Fernando. Yeah. That's awesome that you have family working with you. Although, just make sure you guys don't get on the UV. Oh, so the UVs have to line up here. I don't like the seam there. I might have to talk to the guy and say, hey, the seam should not be here. It should be back here. I don't like it there. Or down here. Is there a seam here? Yeah, there's a seam here. Dang it, there's two seams. I want one. We'll have to talk to the artist. I don't like some of these seams. It's good that we did the pattern. So good job, Sumito. Thank you for offering that because now we have a pattern. Now we could change this to be red, white, whatever, and do thing. So we can steal other patterns if we want to. These are just pattern. Yeah, so you can do anything. I don't know, like what do we want to take from the intro? I mean, I'll eventually do an artist and do but this is good for like testing. And usually I like grabbing a black and white. It's easier. Like we have this pattern. I usually just take a screenshot. It doesn't, even if the eye stock, I don't care. You can do it later. Just need it for testing. Uh, can also reverse it if we want it. I don't know if it'll look any different. The only thing is that we'll have to figure out. Okay, so here's the other thing. Okay, let me do another color so I can see. Oh, that's the thing. Okay. Because I can't. So if the player's gonna pick, I can't pick how good or bad it'll tile. That stretches a little bit. If or the other thing, let me play around now that I'm in here. I need to play around with this. And then we're gonna figure this out for that. So the other one that I like is being able to, let me see, Boolean. I think a Boolean or I'm trying to what to do. I'll just do. Let's do the node first, and then I'll figure out. 1 minus. It reverts the image. So, okay. But I want to do it only if. Is there an if statement? Branch? Logic? Okay, so we have our Boolean revert texture. So if you want to revert it, we can do a toggle, and we can add that to like as an option for players if they want to revert a texture, which is actually really cool. So if it's, I don't even know how to do this. Oh, so if it's true, okay. So if you do revert it, then you get this node. That's how it goes. And if you don't revert it, it goes to this. And that's how it works, I think. Move these back. Move the clutter. Okay. And so the idea is that either revert it or not, save it. And so now I can say I want to revert it, and you can revert. And so that's like 2 patterns in one, right? So you can, and then, oh man, the only problem with patterns is that we can either choose to do it based on the color. The only problem is that the color, I guess it doesn't matter. It creates a secondary color in the background, right? So if I do a min max, so look, so this will blend it in with the color. And this is like, it'll bring it back down. So you could do this. So we got to figure out what to do. But you can stylize how you want. See, that's why I wanted these controls, like the clamp, to either like bring the contrast down in one way or the other. But this is not going to be available to the player, at least not yet, because the players can mess it up really bad. But we can create some cool stuff with it, right? So we have a lot of controls, and then we can revert it if we want it. And then things get messy because they shouldn't be 2 by 2. Or did we decide 1? There, like that. So now that it's reverted, I don't think it works the same way. It kind of does. Yeah. Okay. So, but that's actually pretty good because we have a lot of stuff to mess around. Because then, yeah, I think that's a really good suggestion because now we can do some cool stuff for the players. And let's see. I'll just post this on the Discord really quick. So for newsletter. Okay, yeah. Kinds of stuff. Cost currency to change it every time. Oh, okay. So that you, I don't know. It's just tough. Do you think you want it permanent? No, because these colors right here, you could switch them constantly if you wanted to, all the time. But you're saying to, if you want to tweak some of these parameters, it'll take currency, what color you want, and then change it to cost currency. Yeah, but we can have free to play currency. So like, it could be super, like it's you don't even have to pay. Yeah, because in our game, for example, let me see. Toast. Let me check Toast. Players. Toast. I think it's Toast. Maybe. You have. Oh, let me see. Yeah, the Toasty. Look, he has 2,000 already, and he is level. The player data. He's level 12. He just started. He grinded. He like you get currency from killing monsters. So, um, he has 2,000 already. So this currency is gonna be like super super abundant, and players will be able to spend as much as they want. And so maybe yes, I can have like these parameters. You pay for what you want, and you can change it. And instead of giving it all the time, you don't have access to the game. You so in here, start here. There's a link, and this will take you to the meta page to join here, and then you have access to the beta or the alpha, and you get updates on your headset. If you have parental controls, then you won't be able to access them. But if you have like a individual account, you should be able to access on your own. And then, yeah. So let's put the pattern on PlayFab. But you should be able to have access here. And the only reason I can't do an APK is because oh, that's not, okay. The reason why I can't do an APK is because okay. Also, you can't see it on your headset. Okay, so if you can't see it on your headset and you have it, if you click on here, it says joined. Let me check. I can check if you joined. Hold on. I just don't want to display people's information. See release channels. You have to make sure you click join that you actually joined. So let's see users. Oh, there's a lot of people in here. Toasted. What's your username, Sumito, on here? Oh, there it is, Sumito. No. Wait, Sumito, are you Jared? Or is that different, Sumito? Dang it. Okay. Yeah, you should be able to see it. You should in your yeah, you have it here. Okay. I'm gonna let's see patterns. Okay, so you have the pattern. So we're gonna go play fab. Okay, so you can. Okay, so you should see it on your headset. That is weird. I'll push an update and you'll get a notification in your email. And then we'll be able to play. Okay, let me see. Have open. We have to add. We'll add virtual currency, inventory. Economy, legacy. Here, let's add new item. Item, let's say pattern, and then fire, and fire. So stackable, AC, 502. And then We have the fire pattern. Oh, whoops, we forgot to add it to the cosmetic class. Okay, so we have all that. Now we need to make the purchases. So that's where I was before I realized. Here we go. Okay, so we have the transaction. So now purchase item, purchase transaction. Okay. Version for now. Well, the analog version might change later. We have that. Cost. Load inventory. That should take your purchase. Okay. Current callback. Oh, I think the load inventory has a callback. Callback. Okay, so that has a callback. We'll do that then. We need to. Okay, so now I'm gonna do. Okay, so the goal is to get currency. Let's see if we can. What's the fastest way to sell the currency so that we could game? Okay, so we have. Okay, so the first setup doesn't take. Here we have the economy. Let's just do one for cosmetic. Start from cosmetic. Buy cosmetics, or let's just do cosmetics. Okay, so then we say string buy. See with callback. Load. Gotta go here. Let's see if it's available. Events. String int load. Okay. So this is, we have to create it first. Go in here, generate. Change. Created a match. Okay. I should do in general. And then events. Okay, so we have three parameters, and let me try to type string integer, I believe, or int. I don't know. Check. int is cost wherever you're purchasing. Base button. Then the other one is action. Okay, this. Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, so then in here, I'm gonna create. Now I have this event. Okay, where is it? Oh, because it didn't. Dang, I have to fix. Oh, public. Oh, it's gonna be a while. Probably a month or two. Yeah, at least 2 months, not more. It's just me working on it, and I'm looking artists and stuff to do stuff. So in a month, I'll probably have an artist working with me. Um, it's just there's a lot of stuff that I have to nail down first. But it'll definitely be when I get to an alpha state where the game is playable, and there's art for the first two, because I need to create a vertical slice. So we have to we have this map. Let me see here. Here we have, this is the map of the game, and I want to get these two areas done before I release, and then hopefully, like, it'll be in alpha, but I want to make all these areas while we're in alpha. But in order to do that, it takes a lot of work. So I'm in the process of doing the cosmetics, so it's all ready, and then creating the dungeons, and I'm trying to figure out the look and how they're gonna work. Just model it. So I'm fixing some stuff, but cosmetics, spells, and the environment. Those are the three things I got to work on hard. And I have someone helping me with spells. I'm looking for someone for environment. And then once I have that team and me, I think we can get a lot done. But then it's like making sure things are working. So that's what I'm doing this right now, is because if I can get the cosmetics working and things in place, we can do some cool stuff. So let me see if I can do this now. Event here somewhere. Okay, int with callback. So buy or purchase this cosmetic. Okay. Hello for you buy ID. Okay, and then so then we have this. Now we can add string callbacks, then cosmetic. Go in here into the game manager, or no, playfab, purchase item. Okay, so now you can purchase the item through playfab, and it'll take your coins. Okay, so now we gotta do two things: display the item and sell it. Display the item so you can sell it, and then also, so let's do something. So let's borrow this here, and we're gonna say this is a pattern. Let's we're gonna oh dang it, oh whatever. Then we have the pattern. What is the pattern? The fire. or no, what was it called? What it was? Okay, fire pattern 5.2.5. That's so that people can see it. The other thing is the VR rig. What I can do is the row. To do something about this. Oh, the now and display that. I think by this. Pattern here. Which one did we? Okay, so one we made unlit. So we have this pattern and utilize red and white, or you can. Okay. So now this. Oh, should be fine. In here, we're gonna display. We're gonna actually go and display what you or how much it is. What we do is in here, we create another script scripts. Okay. And okay, so what do we need to do for this is we'll have text. Um, and then we have and then the cost. Cost. Then we have data. So this cosmetic data is cost. Okay, so we have the data, and let's go into, so we'll is back and forth. This one. Okay, so in here we have the cosmetic type. And we have to go to the cosmetic type. So we have, well, we don't need any of these. So what we have is hood, hoodie, scarf. This is what we type in the class. So I'll change. We have eyes. We have for pattern. That's what we're gonna do right now. I think that's for now. Pattern scarf. Rings. That. Yes. Because the idea is that if you have the hoodie, and then you can do like headphones on your hoodie. Okay, so we have that, and the default doesn't matter. Index, current index makes it easier to access cosmetics. People are saying so. This is what we'll use. Icon to display for the cosmetic, prefab, the cost, and then we get the prefab. Well, that's pretty much everything. So we have that. So let's create it. Oh, that's why. Yeah. So if you don't have it installed, you won't see it. So if you're in the beta channel and you're like you can't see your game, you want to make sure you add you're seeing all your apps, even the uninstalled one, or even all of them, so you can, because sometimes they, especially if they're like the beta one. Okay, so Magic Hunters, but don't play. Yeah, it's buggy. I'm pushing a fix hopefully tonight. I'm figuring out the scene transition so you can level up and it will save. And the currencies will save. So you can go to level 1 billion if you wanted to, but it's going to take a long time to do that. We have a leaderboard for the levels. And right now the highest level is level 12. I'm only level 5, I think. Because there's also no a lot of monsters. Like the monsters are not higher level, so I need to build out the game so that you can progress through and destroy stronger monsters. And right now you have one spell, so we're gonna add a healing spell, mana regeneration boost spell, so that you can regenerate mana super fast. I still gotta figure out how to use that because it requires mana. So maybe we'll see a balance for that. Because that might be OP if you're constantly casting the mana spell and it charges and then you just keep using it. And so maybe I'll do it so it's a lot of mana, but it gives you a ton back. and maybe it's multiplayer so that if you're with other people, it's more obvious to use. Okay, so we're here, scriptable objects, inventory, let's do cosmetics. So we're setting up the foundation for this. Cosmetics. And in here, we can say, oh, resources is a good inventory. Else, okay, that's where it is. So, okay, sorry. So inventory is like all the items. So I'm just gonna go in here, inventory resources, and then we have per type. So we're gonna do patterns. And this, you want this to match the scriptable files. We are gonna create cosmetic data. And this is gonna be our pattern. Or I forgot what it was called. Pattern fire. Pattern fire. Make sure it's the same. Cosmetics. Maybe we're gonna do patterns with okay, so the ID is this, the same fire rove pattern. We might have to call it rove. Fire rove pattern. That might be better. Pattern fire. But better. So this is very important now. Let's see. Let's change that. So we have that. Here are the patterns. Index. Oh, okay. So we don't need this. Okay, so I'm gonna change, or I think this can be edited at runtime. I'm gonna else. Yeah, icons. I can just make one word. Right. Prefab. Okay, so how do we do? Because we don't have a prefab. So the way we need to store will probably be the icon. Or okay, so this is something we need to take into account. Okay, so something that we could do is public. What is that? It's like a texture. Oh, so we could try that. Let's see if it'll let me. Oh, because it. Okay, so we didn't need that. So back. get this. It just takes a lot to set up. Free resources, pattern, row fire. Now we have a texture ID. Now it will let us do fire. That's the pattern. Okay, so you have the pattern. We don't need the prefab, and the cost is 500. We said. Next, okay, we are okay. Row. Okay, let's. Now we have also. Okay, so we have inventory data, and we don't have anything else. So we go into edit the script. So we need to store when it comes. So spell data, spell index, and then we have to also find a way to put it on the player. So spell index, spell. So the other one that data. Have to copy. Maybe we can do get cosmetic. Let's just do call it cosmetic list. Cosmetic. Might be, yeah, it might be easier later to split them up. Go back. And so it doesn't matter what we do. We're gonna here add it, and now we can add the pattern. Now the pattern is in the game, so it exists as an option. Now we have to figure out how to add it to your inventory. So as you read it in, add item to inventory, and if the type is what we have to do cosmetic for. I hate to. Then maybe we do because this filters the type, and the type is determined by playfab. So I could do cosmetics instead. This will make it so that all cosmetics regardless. Then I'll figure out if it's pattern. So instead of having Boolean, but I think this we don't need. Okay, so this is just so that when we load from PlayFab and we add items that you own, PlayFab, and it reads in the IDs, it stores it in the dictionary. So there's a big dictionary with all the owned items if I need it. And then I have a list for each individual so that I can get spells individually without going through cosmetics, checking. So spells, cosmetics. And I think this will be better than doing hats and patterns, and because then I have to go through all that. I think I can filter that later if I need to. Okay, so we get own cosmetics. It owns cosmetic. Get own cosmetic type. And so we look for every cosmetic type. Get the list regardless. So this works too. Okay, so we have this now. That's what fills up this array of items. It's gonna be hard to add it, so I'll probably do a part two, or I'll change how I'll I'll finish this later today and do a video on it. But because this is get long, but we're doing it. So let me see, because we have a button here, and I want to keep that one. Transfer button. Okay, so we have this button. Okay, so AC coins icon. Okay, so let's stop thing. Up, play. Count much you have cost. How much it is to um Bye. This I edit this some more, and we're gonna go through like just being able to purchase it and get that done. Okay, so we're gonna do that's as far as we're gonna go, and then I'm gonna show you that it transfers over and it puts it in my inventory. Then the last step would be to actually do a UI that actually helps you change the cosmetic and the pattern so you can add it or remove it. But this will get us almost there, like where everything is working. It's just the player's not able to use the cosmetic. So we have to do that and the multiplayer aspect so that you can network. So that as you change cosmetics, it shows up on both you and the other player, or so that other people can see you wearing the new setup. It's called int string callback event. I just called it by event. Okay, so what we're gonna have is on start. Come on start. We're gonna check the coins, like check currency. I think there's a lot of stuff that's gonna. Oh, and then also we need. And we're gonna do. I think this has to be. How much you have. Yes. You can have it like so. We could do like title. Text. Plain name. So here. And then edit robe. So for now, we're just hard coding it. This is tying that. Now we have to do the buy. So buy item. So what's going to happen? This is how we now connect the dots with PlayFab. We're going to have this event channel that we set up. Let me see, void. Result, and this will take. Decided to do string the response. No, we said boolean or yes or not, and then the boolean for response string. Okay, and this put it here, but then we also need the ID. So cosmetic data D, because this is gonna read the item ID, gonna recognize on PlayFab what you're trying to buy, the cost that you think it is. Well, hopefully, PlayFab recognizes it. But let's say cost, but we'll make sure that the cost data has it. I think it's 500. Cost, there it is. So we have the cost, the item ID, purchase. So it's going to go back, and then if no success, if it was successful, we hide the buy button, and here we not, we display a message. Then we'll give it, but it can read for what it is. Buy button. And then the other thing is we can do here owned. Can do a check, right? So you could say, or this could be by I, the UI. The other thing to do is say bought. So when you already bought it, you have a text that says, "Hey, you already own this item." Open it, buy it. They buy you that. I. This one would be like show you how to, because this is better to do usually. Void check inventory. So when done, should be able to in here. Because what we're gonna do is we're gonna swap the text. Bought you that tag active. So what's gonna happen is if and go on cosmetics. On okay, so we're gonna say, hey, does this cosmetic exist? We have it in here. It'll go through and it checks if you have that. That's why we have, this dictionary. If we actually own the item, if we do own it, we hide And we're done. Done. We're always also setting this. Here, because we're also gonna be spending money. So when we check inventory, we're gonna be updating the inventory as well. I mean the currency that we have. So we need to make sure that's set to the right amount. So now we're filling out the text and it's all set up to work. Okay, so it's the last two things are gonna be the display name. I mean, the last two things are being able to equip what you own and be able to network that across. Okay, so when we buy this, we can go in here, say, okay, we're gonna have display by item. Done. Working. Oh, I gotta double check to make sure scaled because every doesn't scale. The only one of the bad things that UI and VR. Raycast is a lot easier, or if you have other tools that do it for you, because it could be getting annoying. Anyways, always gotta watch out for that. Now we need to fill out the buy UI, the stuff that we need. This button, buy button, Austin, and bought. And this one is to do. What do we do? We name it out there. Here, here, this item, I purchased, so that if we hide this, it'll say the item display name already purchased. So we're just hiding that and we're showing this, right? So okay, that's perfect. So now happens other, gotta make sure it is that logic is there. So see here, if it owns it, it's gonna return. But if not, the reverse true. Uh, I can also do it different ways. Like you could have this boolean that returns and just do whatever you need. It's just confusing that way. But we could do it. I'll show you just so you know. Owns cosmetic. Okay, so owns cosmetic. Grab the boolean in here. Now instead I do okay. So if this boolean is true, I'm gonna just do this once. If it's true, okay, I want this active. This serve. Okay, and that's all I need. So you could do it either way. Because I want to make sure like you see the options of what you could do, but this can get confusing to like debug. It's like because you might get these wrong. So I like doing it the other way because you can actually tell what's going on. And this one, you have to just understand what's going on, that this is like a reverse. So if the item is not owned, we want to buy it. The other is owned, and so if the item is not owned, it's false. And so it'll turn this off and it'll be false and not false. So it'll turn into true and it'll set this to true. Okay, that's all it does. And so that way you don't have to do the if statement. That's an option. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna try it. I'm gonna do the headset and I'm gonna show you guys. We're gonna go through the purchase, but I'm not gonna be able to equip it or anything. Okay. I'm gonna show you. So the first thing, while I turn on the headset, we're gonna test it without the headset, and then we're gonna, because I gotta make sure the UI. Oh, whoops! I'm still in the game on the other one. Okay, so but let's do. Shouldn't own it right now. It's gonna be. This fire rope pattern, but it didn't turn it on because of this. I think. Oh, I forgot to. Oh. Oh, there it is. The on. Okay, so go back. That's what we test. And there's some things that you can test in the editor, even if you don't have a headset. You can now put any type of cosmetic that you thought we can make in the same way, which is create descriptive object. Now it's pretty streamlined because everything that we have can be done. Like it's not going to be as tedious. The first time is very tedious. That's why I wanted to do this video, because it takes a lot of time to create these. But the cost after is so good, because now, like, I can make a bunch of patterns, I can make a bunch of hats, I can make a bunch of eyes, I can add it, and it just duplicate, and then I just gotta fill in the cost, the money. It's just like anyone can do it. Probably a monkey can do the putting in the information, because it's just tedious task of putting the string, putting the drag and drop. Okay, so we have that. Now let's test it, make sure the UI is correct. Okay, so we have 500, we have the fire rope pattern, and I have 300, so I don't have enough. It kind of sucks. I might go in and kill some stuff, or I can just go into PlayFab and add myself some currency. I'm gonna do that to test, but I could. So, okay. Now, okay, let me go buy it. And usually, if I don't have enough, it will say. So I guess we could have tested it. I will use up in here. It should be logging in. I'll see in there. Client focus. It says I have 100 now. So we're gonna buy it, and it should update the text. So I'm gonna buy. Did it go through? Okay, let's see what happened on PlayFab. Okay, so let's see. It says item purchased. Okay, 500. But the UI was, wait, was the UI updated? Oh yeah, the UI was updated. What the heck? I was sleeping. So it did use 500, but it did not do the inventory check. So it came too early. Oh. Let me check. Okay, so if I go into owned inventory, or let me see, what is it called? Own cosmetic data, you'll see the hats are hat cosmetic. Uh, this is not my stuff. Okay, so owned inventory data. Okay, owned cosmetics. I have the fire robe. Delete that. Don't need that. Okay. So we have the pattern row fire. So we bought it. We got it. It's in my inventory. So the last thing I'm gonna double check. So what I can do, I think what happened is that the scriptable object is not getting updated in time. See? Oh wait, let's check. So I gotta make sure that the display is correct. And you can always just hard code it, like I can, but I want to make sure that the logic is working. So see, it did not turn it on. It is not returning. Okay, so let's debug this as the final thing before we wrap up. It's almost time, 2 hours into it. But I want to be thorough because yes, I wish I could do like the rest of it, but it takes a long time. But the returns on it is really good. So let's go to the display, right? We have a shop display. Shop display. Because this is part of coding. It's testing, figuring out. So somewhere in here it's not returning, or it is, but because okay, so the bot UI got turned off at the buy, and then the bot got turned on, or maybe it didn't. I check inventory. That's these things right. Something is, and both of those are off, and maybe the reference is wrong. Whoops. Okay, so let me go to the scene. Go make sure this thing is correct. So these are both off. It's okay. Why is it missing again? I keep adding it. Oh, that's the problem. Oh, I did the wrong. Okay, here. Okay, so I know what I. Okay, so I grabbed the wrong scriptable object. So I don't need this. I need, what is it called? Owned inventory. Owned cosmetics. And that was because I was setting up the. That is the problem. Okay, that makes sense. And it's a good thing I deleted it. The problem is that I brought in other stuff, and I was just kind of playing around with what I used before, and so, but I want my own setup, and so this is the one. It's just that I had different issue. So that was the issue. It was just from an old before when I first started and I did the setup for the cosmetics and kind of did a simple logic. I forgot that I did that a long time ago. But now that I have a game and I actually want specific, see, already purchased. Okay, so now it's working. It's the right scriptable object. We are good to go. Now the last, so I have to add UI, like somewhere, figure out if I'm going to do it in UI or a location. I prefer in the UI so that you can always change it whenever you want on the fly. And the network stuff that's sometimes intriguing to players. So we're going to use so if you looked at, let me show you. When I load the inventory, it should populate the item as well. So I'll show you. And so what happens is when it loads the inventories, it will inventory data list. So we have the list of items, right? And each one of these is in an index in the, so in here, oh, it did not fill the index up. So it usually does for the specific cosmetics. Let me see. So we have to make sure that this is being filled out because this is what we're going to use in the multiplayer setup so that so I can do a byte as the index rather than a string. Because if I have to save a string, we have to save the ID across the network. And I would prefer it's more optimized if I just save a byte and then get it. The only so and I make sure that this is just for cosmetics. So I already know what I'm looking for in the list. But I know that's something that I'm looking into because in here, at some point it tries to add the index. This is hats, but this is not what I want. Own cosmetics. See, this is not, I don't want that. I want the inventory. Owned inventory data list. So these, see in here we have the spell, get the spell by index, get cosmetic by index. So we just need to set it up so that we have owned inventory. So what happens is what we're gonna do is we're gonna use this inventory data list when we change cosmetics. We're gonna say, okay, we need to grab the cosmetic. We have an ID. We need to figure out what the index is of that ID for the cosmetic. And so we're going to use this function to then say, okay, this is the index of the ID that the player just switched to. And then we're going to pass that along and network that variable. And then that will help us be able to use get cosmetic by index. So if we do see these are public list, we can get the cosmetic data. And so we can just cosmetic data list for the specific one. So we can just say get cosmetics at this index. And it will give us the ID. And with that ID, we can grab everything. Or we can just grab like this, and this has the cosmetic data. And from there, we can get whatever we need. A prefab to display and where to display it. Because there we have the cosmetic type. So if it's a hat, we place it with a hat. If it's with a robe, we place it in the robe spot. And so all these things are going to happen. Okay. That's it for the string. It's pretty straightforward. And like I said, we did the robe, but we could do eyes and we can do anything we want with the setup. It doesn't really matter. But I just wanted to make sure that we went through everything from beginning to end, kind of, because we still need to do the network part and the equipping, which is, again, a lot of work. And so I don't want to go through because this was a lot of setup. But once it's all set up, you just copy paste for all of it. And the time it takes, it's like 10% of whatever it took today. So if it takes a cosmetic like 30 minutes to add to the game, you could add 10, 20 cosmetics a day and just crank through them and then sell them. And that's how you make money on games is cosmetics and variations. And the more you have, the more stuff people can customize and look all different. And so it's the start for the monetization. because I got to figure out the prices, the balances, and how it all looks. And as you saw, we updated the shader, so now you can like tweak it with patterns, and we have to add UI so that the player can do all those changes. Okay. See you on the next broadcast, and I'll start from now on every month. I think every Monday and Wednesday I'll be uploading a new video. Mondays is multiplayer Monday. Wednesday will be leveling up Wednesday. I'll add videos on networking. So I'll probably do the cosmetic networked on Monday, and then on Wednesday I'll do a level up. So how to go from level 0 to 1 and 2 as a developer, and how to just improve as a game developer, so you can make games to make money, build your own studio, do whatever you want from beginning to end. So that look forward to that. Make sure Mondays and Wednesdays every week from now until I don't have any more content to give out. But I'm gonna try to do that for